Hey everyone, welcome to week 2, Born Smart or Get Smart. So this week we're going to continue exploring the ideas from Trouble with Talent, and you'll watch a TED Talk by Carol Dweck, which is related to the article. I have prepared an example summary response on this TED Talk to help guide you in your own writing of your own summary responses. And you're also going to be preparing for our Socratic seminar. We're going to be doing our first one next week. So as you go through this checklist, you'll figure out how to prepare for that. Let me quickly go over what our objectives are for the next week. So you should be able to identify the qualities of a good summary and identify summary moves in the Trouble with Talent. You should write a summary in response to Trouble with Talent. You should integrate a quote with proper MLA format into your discussion posts and into your summary response. And remember, your summary response will be in your Google folder, and I will be checking that next week. Lastly, you guys should be able to understand and apply academic language, not just in your writing, but in your speaking, and I've provided a link below for you so that you can start learning this language. So now I'm going to go over the checklist with you guys so you understand exactly what you have to do for the week. So, first thing is to read the PowerPoint, how to integrate quotations. I'm going to post a video shortly. And this is basically going to go over with you, if you click the green link, it'll open it. But this is going to go over with you how you can use other people's ideas in your own writing and the format for doing that. Okay, so if you go through here, you'll learn exactly how to do it, how to punctuate it, how to include the page number and the author's name. Okay, and then I want you guys to practice with integrating a quote into the discussion forum. Remember, your first post is due on Sunday at 11 p.m. and your 2 replies are going to be due on Tuesday by 11 p.m. So remember that you have to post a total of 3 times, and make sure you're posting something substantive, that you're not just writing, "Cool, thank you for sharing, I agree." You should be offering a new idea, or if you disagree, give reasons. Try to keep the conversation going. So that's the discussion for the week. Let's take a look at it. I actually have posted an example, but what you're doing for the discussion is finding something that interested you in the article Trouble with Talent and explaining why. And you should be using a direct, blended, or a paraphrased quote. And you have to first see the PowerPoint to be able to then use one of these quotes in your discussion. And I want you to explain why you found the idea and the quote interesting and post a question. So here's my example here. Trouble with sorting. So here I am blending a quote from Kathy Seal's article. I was very interested in the idea that Americans group children by ability throughout their school careers. Seal says that a consequence of this grouping leads kids to be labeled by intelligence by their peers. So my question is, what do you think are other consequences and effects of sorting children? So I've got my blended quote that observes MLA formats. I explain a little bit why that interests me, and then I post a question. Let's go back to the checklist. Okay, so you should also be writing your first summary in response. If you want to see what makes a good summary response, I've posted the qualities here. So you can read through this. It's kind of a checklist. So after you write your summary response, you can go through and make sure that it observes all of this criteria. here. I also have some moves for summarizing and paraphrasing. Remember, the moves are the different language frames that you might employ. So here are some signal phrases for summarizing and for introducing quotations. And I urge you guys to use these in your own writing. And if you want to see my example, you can click the Carol Dweck TED Talk, which you should also be watching. So to watch the TED Talk, you click on this link. And you want to see my model, you can see it here. Okay? So the idea is that the summary is the main idea from the article, and the response is your own opinions, and responding to one or 2 points that you either found interesting, that you agree with, or you disagree with, and then you're explaining why. And the summary response, as well as the discussion forum for the week, should prepare you for our Socratic seminar. And I posted also a link here that defines what the Socratic seminar is. So next week, you're going to be in 2 groups. You're going to discuss trouble with talent for 20 minutes. Without any interruption, I am not going to be partaking. It's just going to be you guys. You're going to include everybody. You're going to share ideas, try to move the conversation to a deeper level by posing questions, and explore topics from the reading in depth. So because it'll be our first one, it's going to be practice. We're going to do this a couple more times throughout the semester, so don't worry too much. But I think you guys will really enjoy it. And you can check out the rules here so you get a better idea. And the best way to prepare is to write your summary response, to have your article completely annotated, and you can also click here down below to see the rubric for this. You'll be graded on the Socratic seminar by your classmates, not by me, and based on these 3 different categories. Okay? If you have any questions about that, feel free to email me. I also posted how to join an academic conversation. So here's language that you can be using also when you want to discuss points. Okay, and it talks about discussion guidelines and ways to disagree, agree, disagree, somewhat agree, change the subject. This is that academic language I was talking about. And so it'll be good to practice with this next week. So we've got, let's go over it real quickly again, how to integrate quotes, then posting to the forum, writing your summary response. You can look at my example, watching the Carol Dweck TED Talk, reading about the Socratic seminar and academic language to use in a conversation. And the last thing is that I'd like for you guys, you did such a great job dissecting the article in class this week. So I would like for you to add your notes so that we can remember what you talked about. So I have all of your names next to the different points that you guys covered. And if you want, you can just add, actually for points, it's going to be 10 points. Add your notes, right? You can just type below, the introduction begins, and make sure you add your name after you respond, okay? This shouldn't take too long. You already did this in class. Should be able to just divide this up, maybe answer 1 or 2 questions each person, okay? The idea is that we can have this as a reference. We can remember what some of Kathy Seal's techniques were, and all the good work that you guys did in figuring out her writing strategies. So you can add directly there, and that's it for the week. So some of you asked me about due dates. Generally speaking, everything will be due on Wednesday before class. We go week by week. Everything's due Wednesday except for the discussion posts, which will be due the first one Sunday at 11 every week, and 2 replies due Tuesday by 11. Okay, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll see you Wednesday.